Welcome to the Rolling Out Boundless Brothers virtual conference. This is the spot where there's no limits to being a Black man. And I have two incredible Black men in front of me. Our topic and dynamic discussion for today is Dope Black Boy to Rich Black Man, a father-son journey. I have two incredible Black men with phenomenal stories, and you're about to hear just an amazing conversation around Black fatherhood and father-son journey to success and greatness and legacy and passing the baton. Chris Freeman, a serial entrepreneur, author that I've been able to work with in two books, Run It, How to Secure the $1 Million Bag, Dope Black Boy, The Rich Black Man. This is a phenomenal genius entrepreneur. In addition to being an author, he's the founder of Beautiful Hair for You. And as he's repping right now with the merch, Beautiful Homes for You. So Chris, appreciate you. And we have his son, Chris Freeman Jr., AKA Capo, an emerging serial entrepreneur himself, a promoter. He's had the city on fire in Jacksonville, Florida, with some of the hottest teen parties before he graduated. And now he is a student athlete, collegiate football player, and business major on scholarship at Concord University in West Virginia. Brothers, it's a pleasure to have you all here. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Big Chris and Capo. No doubt, no doubt. And Capo, how you feeling, man? Now you're getting out of a hard football practice, man.
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. It was just cleaning up and stuff.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, man, amazing guys. We're gonna get right into it. Chris, Big Chris, I want to congratulate you first and foremost. You just passed the general contractor license test. So that was the final test that you have to be able to just build, upon Beautiful Homes for You. And that required like countless, we see the books right beside you. Those are thick books. And you were probably studying, for what was it, a year or so?
A little over a year. Over a year. Probably about maybe 14 months.
Okay. So as a serial entrepreneur, this is one of your, countless, business ventures. What does this accomplishment mean to you? That's something that a lot of people have a hard time getting, and you just got it this week. So congrats. Yeah. What does that accomplishment mean to you?
What it mean to me is like I'm still kind of in disbelief, because it's just something totally different than I ever even thought that I'll be involved in. And, it was a lot of learning. Like I just actually just seemed like I just crammed a bunch of information in my head at one time. During that course of time, it's like everything I was reading was straight information. It wasn't no plot. It wasn't no characters. It was just this. You need this much of this, and you got to do it this way and this way. It was just a lot of that. So yeah,
man.
And it means a lot for being a Black man because only 3% of it's 36,000 general contractors in the country, and only 3% are Black. It ain't a lot of general contractors for one, for 36,000, for all the 350 million people in the United States. It's only 36,000 general contractors. That's licensed general contractors. And then out of that 36,000, only 3.8% is Black.
Wow, yeah. 3%. And we represent 13% of the population. So we're rolling out. We always talk about Muncie Steve brings up something called a scorecard. And we should be representing 13%, of all
at least
good
13%.
Things. Like,
Hispanics represent 13% of it, and they just come over here.
Man, no, that's salute on that. And man, Capo, young Chris, man, tell me, man, as a student yourself in college, man, what has that experience been for you, your first semester? And how does it feel? Your dad is studying and just as long as you are and taking tests similar to you. So how motivating is that to know that Pops is pursuing furthering his education just at the same time that you're beginning your higher education in college?
Honestly, just made me want to be better. Really.
Yeah.
Better than him.
Better than Pops. Yeah, he's put a large man, a high measuring stick, man. So man, let's get into your story, man. For those who have read Dope Black Boy, The Rich Black Man, you're able to find out about Chris Freeman and his journey. And man, tell them about your story. Tell them from the beginning and man, how you came up, man, some of your bigger challenges and what you overcame, because you have a hero story.
Well, I just, I started out just wanting to live the way I wanted to live. Looking back on it, even when I was in school, I just used to do pretty much what I wanted. Like I didn't even come to school with books. I just came to school. So I really didn't. And it was crazy because when I started learning, I just didn't know. I really just didn't know if I was dumb or not. So I don't know. But yeah, I started out, getting in, running around, doing the wrong things, and ended up going and doing some time. I took advantage of the time, got out, started beautiful hair. It went up, it went down. Now I'm on to something else.
And that's the summary of it. But I know
that's a real vague.
But for all of those that go on blackbookstore.com, Dope Black Boy, The Rich Black Man, man, you dropped out of school in the 9th grade, got into the streets, and in Jacksonville, Florida, like your name still rings bells, as you're regarded as a kingpin. You at one point were making $50,000 a month profit, from moving weight. And as you mentioned, incarcerated, and but you reprogrammed your mind. That's why this book was so powerful. When I first met you and you shared your story, and I saw for the first time, this is a brother that applied the same business skill sets that people are learning, just like Chris in business school. You applying that in the streets because the education at the time probably didn't offer you, entrepreneurial classes and how to invest. And so you learn how to flip, you learn supply and demand, you learn risk versus return in the streets, as many do. And of course, it's there's consequences to it, but you're able to reprogram your mind and see how to apply that for legitimate business. And you're looking at someone who has launched a company that has done multi-millions with beautiful hair for you. You see the evolution now, beautiful homes for you, on track. I wouldn't be surprised if you're on Forbes magazine with Capo in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, it may be sooner because like just today, a lady called me. She wants a 3,000 square foot home built. And then I have another one already. We done pulled permit on it. We just got JEA approval so that they're gonna run the sewers and the electric and stuff. So it's gonna, once it's like people. And this lady called me from Fort Lauderdale, but she's moving to Jacksonville. She already has a plot of land. The loan is already approved. So I can see it. It's scary. Wow. It's gonna pass beautiful hair. Like beautiful hair is just gonna be like my practice. That wasn't even practice compared to what this is.
So you made several million, but that was play. That was practice. Now you're in the game.
Yeah, this is the long game. Because it ain't a fad. Hair was a
real
fad
estate.
Pretty much. Yeah, this been around. I mean, before civilization, it was just bushes, and now look what you got: buildings. And who did it? The general contractors.
And you had your license for that, so you are moving. Yeah. Man, Chris Capo, tell me. So, you know what? Let's talk, because we got a lot of brothers all across the nation, a lot of fathers, that have come up out of the inner city and have had similar experiences as you, Chris, and now they have children similar to Capo. And one of the bigger goals is to create a life where they're avoiding those traps. So tell me, Capo, when you hear about these stories about this, the success of your dad as a serial entrepreneur, but when you were born, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, when Capo was born, man, where were you at?
I was in prison.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I was in prison when he was born.
Man,
And he
Chris,
came to see me.
okay.
I remember when he first got to come see me. You know, I didn't really want his mama to bring him out the house because he was like maybe 3 weeks old, something like that. But she brought him up there.
Wow. Man, so Capo, tell me, man, what's it like? You know, you have a street legend as a dad, but man, he was one of the few that was able to apply that in a legitimate way to businesses to where you saw beautiful hair for you stores all around the city. And while all the women wanted to go there, you could tell people that, hey, my dad runs that, and shoot, I'll be running that one day. So what is it like kind of growing up, you know, what advantage do you feel like you have based on a relationship with your dad?
Shoot, I feel like what I have, it's kind of like a cheat code. I feel like, because like a lot of stuff that I went through, like he'll let me know in advance, like what not to do and what to do. So I just listen, and then like a few times I tested out. Well, I used to test that and not listen, and then like the worst would happen. So then now it's like whenever he say something, I just be listening.
Okay. Okay. So, and ultimately, what he was telling you, you feel like those are some lessons that are
That
most
he already
important.
done went through or done saw happen.
Wow. Wow. Okay. No, good stuff. Chris, I asked you, you mentioned that he was born while you were in prison. What must a father do to kind of build a bond with his child and be confident in being a father despite that type of challenge of being incarcerated?
Well, I used to call him and try to speak to him at then, but it's kind of hard to, you know, be a dad from jail, you know. So, you know, I was just waiting to get out to be able to. And what it did was when he was born, I knew it wasn't for me to just, you know, be coming back like that. So that's what kind of motivated me to keep, you know, to study and go to school while I was in there because I already knew I had a kid out there and I ain't want to leave him out there. And then I seen dudes' kids getting killed. Like it was dudes that was in there with me. And then they'll be calling home somebody that killed their son. And they was older than me, but their sons was probably like, you know, my son age right now. Like one of my friends that was in there with me, they just did that to his son maybe about 3 weeks ago. And I used to just see it a lot. Like dudes be calling like, man, they done, you know, and I'm like, God dang. And it's because you ain't there to really coach them. You know, you got to kind of coach them. You know, they don't have no coach. You know, little boys, they don't know they don't know what's going on. You know, so you got to kind of tell them, and then they're gonna get it themselves after a while. But they don't really know. You know, a lot of these boys, like they doing crack. Like if you look at the news, you see it. Like they 18, 19, 17. I'm talking about they doing stuff and they ain't never come home ever again. And it's just like, man, I be seeing my son facing them, and it made me call him like, hey, boy, you know what I'm saying? Because it's his age group. He got to get past that age group. They just killed somebody over some weed, you know, a little bit of weed. You 18 years old and threw your life away for maybe an ounce of weed. Like, bruh, it's crazy. One of my friends right now, his people is in jail for a murder, and he ain't nothing but 17. It's just crazy, and he ain't probably gonna get out. You know, so it just
Yeah.
made me talk to my own son a little because I already see they the targets. You know, they got it bad, saying that's why you got to be on your sons because black sons, especially because they got targets on their backs from every direction. Nobody knows, you know, but us what we go through because nobody's in our shoes but us. You know.
Mm-hmm. No, that's real. And Chris, as you tell your story, I mean, there have been certain waves of systematic oppression, you know, that we've experienced as a people. Of course, you go back, you know, several hundred years, it was slavery. Then there's Jim Crow, you know, and they required a civil rights movement. But afterwards, there was, um, you know, a war on drugs. And this was just an influx of crack, you know, creating an opportunity for people to sell, but it took so many lives, destroyed so many lives and incarcerated so many brothers, and there was, and then afterwards, then there's a mass incarceration, and you experienced, the highs and the extreme lows of both, as well, and was able to really come out and succeed and really learn from them lessons. And there's a quote that I love, Emmett Fox, there's no such thing as undemonstrated understanding. So it's one thing to go through a lesson, but if you got to keep repeating it and keep going to prison or keep, being in shootouts, that's what hurts. You can make a mistake sometimes, and sometimes you can't. But when we repeat these mistakes and then repeat it through generations of our children, that's where we kind of hurt our culture. And Capo, I'll ask you, man, what was it like, if you can recall, when your dad got out of prison? Man, how'd you feel? How old were you? And what was your energy like, as you were able to reconnect with him, for the first time being out?
Dude, I don't remember, but I remember that I didn't used to like to go to my dad's house though. Then I mean, one time he tricked me to go to his house. He was like, what he said, I think he said he was gonna take me to Dave and Buster's or something, and I went. We did not go to no Dave and Buster's. I was so mad. I just like to stay at. I just like to stay at my mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
So as I got older, that's when I like to go over there.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
I don't know why. I don't know why I used to like to go over there. I just didn't.
Because it ain't no fun. Fun is over.
But let me ask you, how did you feel when you saw what your dad came from, but then you saw, him launch Beautiful Hair for You, and then it was 1 store, 2 stores, eventually 10 plus stores, and then you saw, and shoot, we know, man, anybody riding around Jacksonville, Chris had every car, you can imagine. So a lot of times before they were out, so you were seeing the Beamers, and you were seeing, just all types of, prosperous situations. So how did that feel, man? You had a dad that was doing it, but as a big time businessman, from where he came from.
At the time, I was like, how old I was? I know I was in elementary. Yeah, I was in elementary when he first started sending my hair out of the trunk of his car and stuff. So I really didn't know what was going on till probably 9th grade, 9th, 10th grade.
Yeah, he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, but when he wasn't conscious of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He didn't appreciate what he was experiencing, because and that's what I'll tell him, his life, he lived a totally different way than I did. So he picked it up. It happened when you older, when you finally figure out what your old man said was that he was helping you. That's why I was born at my house, because I'm probably going to tell you something more than be playing with you. You know what I'm saying? And I always talk to him about stuff. It's always a serious conversation about some stuff. We can joke around a little bit, but then it's always going to be me saying something to him about, hey, you got to tighten up on this, or you need to do it this way, or you need to this and that. Always being a dad and daddy mode. I didn't play his friend.
Mm-hmm.
His buddy. We weren't buddies like that. I was his dad. Yeah, and that's a bad thing people do nowadays. They be friends with their kids instead of their parents. They be scared to hurt their feelings. They be scared to make them do stuff or make them have to go out. I like it when he over there in the cold right now, and he got to get up and go out there and do it, because that's what men do. It ain't nothing to cry about. Get up and go out there in the cold. But a woman, sometimes they'll be kind of baby him a little bit, it's probably cold over there and he needs this. No, he don't. They used to send the kids in the bushes and make them have to hunt at 12. And if they didn't come back, oh, well, he wasn't tough enough.
This a Boundless Brothers conversation. All men, all straight men conversation, man. And that's what we do. Man, and Capo, I'll ask, man, when I see you all, and man, Chris, I just appreciate you for allowing me to connect, with Capo. Bro, you a spinning image. You are the real deal as an emerging entrepreneur. I think you tell the people what you've done in business. And then tell me, does that to relate in some way to what your dad has done? Like, you've made serious money in the party game. You've made serious money e-commerce, you know, managing beautiful hair for you, but also, you know, your apparel that you know, promoted and sold as well. So tell us about your entrepreneurial journey. I know you said it was kind of boring, you know, over at dad's, but at some point things locked in, and in high school you was making more money in some situations than adults. So tell us about that.
Shoot, I know when it just seemed like a natural instinct to me, honestly. Like, well, when I first started making money, like I had worked a job at Zaxby's. I was like 16 when I first turned 16. I worked there for like a month. I worked there for a month, and like it was. I remember like yesterday. It was a lunch rush, and like the line was backed up. I was at the window. I was like, man, I can't do this. So I clocked out. I was like, I'm not working here. And then I got into throwing parties. So I threw my first party. My first party made like 1,200. Mind you, I did that myself. I set everything up, found the venue myself, promoted it by myself and everything. And I made more money in one night, something for a week. Then I made probably like I got paid every 2 weeks at Zaxby's. So I made probably like my month check in one night. So ever
Wow.
since that, I remember like yesterday, I was looking at I came to that Zaxby's one day, got some food. Everybody was like, man, what happened? Why you start working now? I mean, I'm making my money out in one day. I'm not finna work here no more. Y'all crazy.
Mm. Man, that's the entrepreneurial story. And a lot of
And
times,
everybody looked at
man,
me crazy too for stop going to work. I'm like, man, I'm not about to work here with y'all.
that's real. And whether it's the streets, you know, people are like, man, I make more money than shoot. I ain't seen people working, you know, 40 hours a week, make an entire month. I made it more in this weekend. Or promotion, like you said, or selling another product, you know, but that's entrepreneurship. And when we're on the right side of entrepreneurship, the way that you were with the team parties, and that was just the start. You gave me another number that was crazy. Like, what was your most successful party event?
Shoot,
What'd you make from
once
that?
I freaking like got in the role with it, sometimes I used to make like 5,000 plus a night. But I
Yeah.
used to. What
Word.
was so crazy was I told my dad about it.
As a
Like
teenager
when I
in high
was
school.
yeah before the
Yeah.
pandemic came. I don't even know why. I think oh back to what I said when I used to just try to test stuff that my dad used to talk about. Like I used to just like it's cool to listen, but sometimes I used to just try to test it for myself. So I went against when he said gambling. So I was like, sure, I got a lot of money coming in and stuff. So I just wanted to gamble just to try it. But then I got hooked on gambling. And I'm like, I'm freaking what, 17 years old? Yeah, 11th grade, 17 years old. I freaking lost $18,000 in the casino at 17. Mind you, I didn't even know I had that much money coming in. Like I never sat there and counted my money, never sat there, saved nothing. I just always put it into something, put it into something. But once I saw that too, I'm losing all my money at the casino, and I was like, dang, I'm really making a lot of money and just blowing it.
Man, that so to even have 18 grand at 17 years old, you know, so to be able to lose is something, but you learn something in there. And
Yeah,
it's great, Chris, man. Tell me, because you even Dope Black Boy, the Rich Black Man, you mentioned, you know, part of the hustler spirit is the gamble. It's like, man, let me take this risk.
But
You know,
not
you
that
take
gamble. The gamble he talking about, I told him not to do that because I used to gamble when I was young. So when I used
right.
to lose, I done lost money gambling and I stopped. So I told him a long time ago, don't gamble. Like, don't drink, don't gamble, because I know what happened with it. So that's what he talking about when he went in there and got his head bashed gambling, because I used to tell him, don't be doing that stuff because the house gonna win. And he had to find out for himself. But the gamble that is with the business part is kind of like it's you got more control over it because if you prepare enough, you ain't gonna lose as bad if you do lose. If you did lose, you ain't gonna lose as bad, you know. But you ain't got no control over when you roll the dice or you get the deck of cards and you get your hand. You ain't got no control of that. It's just you gonna get what you gonna play with what you got, you know.
Mm.
But if you can pick it like you can do with this, when you know you doing a business, then you take a calculated risk. You ain't taking calculated risk when you rolling them dice. Boy, anything goes.
Yeah, shoot, I'm glad I went through that early though, because imagine if I was like rich and I just lost it all like that. I'd be homeless.
It's people who do. People lose themselves, and I know a dude right now. He like, you know, could be somewhere totally different, and I watched him. Like I watched him. He got a nice business, but his business don't go where it should go because he a gambler. That's a bad vice, boy. That's up there with cocaine use. You know, if you
it's an addiction. Like when people feel
a serious addiction. I had to go to Best Bet and get banned. I had it that bad. Like I had to go
and I didn't even know until after he did it.
I had to go up there. I had to they take a picture of all your tattoos and stuff, all the cars that you drive, your ID, and you gotta sign a whole lot of papers so you can't come back in there. And if you go back in there, you get charged with trespassing.
That's real.
But
so let me ask you,
when I went in there, there was like don't be ashamed. There was like it'd be like hundreds of people do that every day.
Yeah, but that was pretty good that you did that, because that means that you helped yourself. You know, you ain't have to get help from somebody else. You knew, you identified the problem, and then you took action to it. So you learned. Just don't keep trying to go against what I said, boy, because I'm telling you, I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. I don't tell you nothing wrong. Hey, look, I ain't gonna cheer you on when you dead wrong. Now I'll be like, hey, boy, you already know. So.
as a dad should, man. Let me ask Chris, as a Black father, experiencing all that you did, and you shared something with me. You said that, man, as a father, if you don't prevent your children from making the same mistakes you did, you failed.
Yeah, you definitely failed. You failed as a dad.
So how did you?
Oh no, what you said?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if you let them go down that same path, and you know, that's just like what I'm telling him, like about all the stuff that I tell him, and he talking about he gonna test it to see. Boy, don't test it, because I already done experienced it. I already know. Like everything, I done did it. I done already did it. Like you done did. Like we already know the game. They just changed the wording of it. But if you let your kid go down that same path, if you done did, you know the trail, you know the moves that they make to start going down that path. You already know, so you can prevent it. You know. So yeah, nah, man. I just try to, always think about what I would do in a situation, and I'll just be like, okay, let me tell my son this. I just try to give him everything so he'll know before it happened, because it done happened to me, or it happened to somebody I know. I done seen, you know how it is. If you play chess enough, you don't play these same moves so many times, you kind of can see the moves coming. Like, oh, he gonna move over there. I already know he gonna do that. He might not even, me playing you, if I played you 10 times and I played him 10 times, y'all might play a similar move, but it might not be the move me and you playing, but I see the same move that he did. Yeah, he gonna make that move. How do I know he gonna make that move? I done seen it before. So I done seen the moves. I done seen a lot of the board. That's why wisdom comes with age. You know, you can be smart when you're young, but you ain't gonna be wise when you're young. They used to always say, I'm just say smart N. They used to say I was a smart N word when I was young. Because not just because of academically smart, I just used to be kind of advanced for them. Kind of like when I was on the street, I was already selling weight before I was grown. Like before I was 18, I already had money like that. So like even to this day, people still think I'm older than what I am from how long I've been out there. I was out there at a young age. So I was always a little more advanced. I don't know how that happened. Maybe I just counted better. I don't know. But I don't know what that was, but it just always was ahead.
So let me ask you this, Chris. As a father, I got a two-part question, and then I'm going to bounce it over to you, Capo. But Chris, as a Black father, experiencing the streets, coming up, kingpin status, experience prison, all that there is, the good, the bad, the ugly, the hell, the life, the death, to all of that. what's the biggest lesson that you think a Black father should teach his son that you taught Chris as it relates to the streets
You said,
and avoiding those
I
traps?
can't hear you. It kind of went out a little bit, what you said.
Okay, my bad. What are
Yeah,
the
no, it was, yeah.
okay, yeah. But what's the biggest lesson to teaching, for a Black father to teach their son to avoid the traps of the streets?
I think the most important thing is education. Like I always never let you think education is just something. Like I even be seeing people make memes saying something about you don't need a college degree or something. Most entrepreneurs don't have college. Something somebody probably made up. They ain't even look up statistics or anything like that. So I think the most important thing that I told him and still tell him is your education is the most important. Because once you get your education, everything gonna come to you. And see, he still don't appreciate this thing yet because he ain't really go through it yet. He ain't going to never go through it. He got it good. So all he got to do is what he need to do. And you good. But I would have never been able to do this contract and stuff had I not been educated. And I know this. That's why so many people fail it, because they don't have a college education to start with. And guess what? You got to have 4 years of experience, right? But you could take 2 years off the experience if you got 2 years of college. So now you only need 2 years of field experience. But if you don't never have no college degree, you're gonna need 4 years of experience out in the field. College take away the years of experience, not because you can do more work in a year. It's because they know you're gonna be smarter than a year. They're gonna be even smarter than the regular people.
And you know what? And Capo, man, salute to you, because you've taken that advice. You've graduated. I remember you made a post on Instagram, man. You graduated, man, using the cap and gown, man. You was like, man, breaking generational curses, and for our community, that's serious, man. Your dad dropped out, but he in prison got his GED and then got, a college degree while in there, and it was valedictorian, of his class. So let me ask you, what does education mean to you? Being a first year college student at Concord University, and you're an athlete, you're a college football player as well. So what does education mean to you? And what are the keys to succeeding in college and getting there?
So me, I just want to learn a lot about like different industries and stuff. So I mean, and with college, you learn a lot of different strategies and stuff. So it's big to me because I'm gonna be ahead when I get out. Then I'm gonna be able to be street smart and I'm gonna be educated at the same time. So I could tap into both worlds, which would be a big thing for me.
And you're a business major, right?
Yes, sir.
In addition to trucking them dudes, man, on the football field. So what's your favorite business class that you're taking right now? Or what are you most interested? What area of business you like the most? And what's your key to learning business? What's your biggest business lesson so far as a business major, entrepreneur?
Favorite class right now is personal finance, because it's like
Okay.
teaching me how to save and stuff. We learn about 401ks, stuff like that, stocks and stuff. So I like that class a lot, honestly.
And I know you've been
And that's a
dabbling.
good thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's a good thing. Personal finance is already setting him up for being the basis of financial literacy, because the average person, they don't know how to balance a checkbook, or they don't know how to write it. A lot of people don't know how to write a check, and then he learning about credit, he learning about savings, he learning about 401ks, but that's stuff that, matter of fact, when I was in prison, I used to teach a class, money smarts, and it was basically giving dudes basic financial literacy. And nobody, all of the guys I was teaching, they came in and didn't know nothing what I was talking about. Yeah, they didn't know it. They didn't know none of that stuff.
No, financial literacy is big. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in business so far, Capo?
So far, I'm still learning. So the stuff that I learned in here already, like I kind of already knew. So I'm not really into my major classes yet, but the stuff that I'm learning, I knew so far.
So even what did you learn in college that confirmed what you already learned through entrepreneurship?
Like I learned about the gross incomes. I learned about annual. What else? I learned about that. I already knew.
And you know what? I know a lot of times college can be, they giving you, because I know I, went to FAM, and but as an entrepreneur as well, I know that some of that stuff in the book, it's cool, but it's not until you do it for real. Investing money, trying to get a return on investment. At that point now, ROI makes sense. Like, no, I can't just put this
Yeah.
money out without making it, So what as an entrepreneur, what would you say has been your biggest lesson that you've learned about business? Like, and for you got a lot of young people who are watching this, they want to start, they want to make money. They like, how the hell did Capo make $5,000 off a party? Like, gosh, what did he charge a head or whatever? Like, how's you making money cryptocurrency, learning investments? You tell me about some things, man, that I may not have been up on. Talk about Dogecoin or Engine or any of those. So let me ask you, like, what did you learn? Like, what would be the best lesson that you would give to somebody that's trying to be an entrepreneur?
To don't spend all the money that you put in. That's what I say. Don't spend all the money you put in thinking it's gonna come right back. Cause that was my big problem. Like with parties, especially. Like, let me see. Say if I make like 5,000, I'll probably spend 4,000 and keep 1,000 to myself for the next party. Spend 5,000 again and keep another 1,000. Then sometimes it'll slow up on you, and when it slow up on you, you're gonna be losing a lot of money, and you're not gonna know when it's gonna slow up. And shoot, that's what personal finance came into play too, because like they was telling us that we need to save at least 3 months of expenses and have it. Well, shoot, I'm gonna put 6 months. Honestly, 6 months of expenses. Put it up somewhere for an emergency or something.
Nah, that's real, man. What you just dropped there is everything. And man, Chris, you can vouch for this in the streets. That's called re-up money. Like, man, don't blow your
that's
re-up.
real money. And they blowing the re-up money.
I know I was
But
blowing
see,
mine.
he still learned the lesson, because see, this is what I like about that. Why he already started doing it, and I don't like him to do it no more. He don't need to do it while he in college. He got a taste of it. So when they talking about ROIs, it's not foreign to him. ROIs is not foreign to him because he understands the concept. Because sometimes you can read something, but if you haven't done it or seen it, it could talk about a parallelogram or something. If you've never seen a parallelogram and it's just describing it on some paper, it's kind of hard to envision it. Just like if they say these terms, if you ain't never had to invest the money, it's just like, what is they talking about? So he already can. Eventually, he gonna start saying, when I did this, this is what I was doing, and when I did that, this is what I was doing. He gonna see it that way instead of having to learn it and then go out and try it. That's the good thing about it.
That's real, Chris. In addition to that re-up, lesson that Campbell just told us about, understanding business in that way. What would you say is the biggest lesson for aspiring entrepreneurs that you found in business that you've taught Chris Campbell?
Everything. I know everything changed. Like nothing stayed the same. And you kind of like build a business with a 5-year plan, because things change. You got to be like that. You gotta be able to forecast. Yeah. So that's the biggest one, because I know you can get stuck in something. I feel like right now, with beautiful hair, I knew it was changing. I just didn't know it was going to take that much of a dramatic turn. And you got to know that. You got to be prepared. I kind of started preparing, so I started investing in beautiful homes. I started trying to flip houses and stuff because I'm like, yes, it's starting to change a little bit, But like, if this started doing something, then I'm gonna be already ahead of the game. That's why I went and got licensed, because hey, I'm in there now.
You are. When you talk about parallelograms, you putting the roofs, man, on houses all across Jacksonville, for real, man. And man, with that, the gem that you shared there, you're building a legacy, Chris. And you've shared with me. Chris has actually shared with me 100-year plan that he has for the Freeman his Freeman family. And you talked about even the Freeman name back to slavery when, they were free, they changed their last name to Freeman.
They changed their last name to Freeman.
So as you continue that legacy, building, a business enterprise that you're building, Chris, and two daughters, to be able to, run at some point, man, how do you, what's the vision behind that legacy, and how do you keep it real and grow it through your son and kids?
Well, I do it through all of my kids too. Well, I know my son, he my namesake, so I got to make sure, he get there, and he the guy. So, I ain't got no other boys, no sons. So you got to make sure he get there. And, I want him to name his son Chris, and I want his son to name his son Chris, because my great granddaddy, it's a lot of Charlie Rogers from my great granddaddy. And he it's a Charlie Rogers the third. One of my cousins, he stayed way in, Charlie Rogers Freeman the third, he stayed way in Daytona Beach. He sell pit bulls, but he sell these expensive pit bulls. And then his brothers, they all big business dudes, like they got concrete companies and all. I'm like, dang, and they just another set. I want my set to be,
And it sounds like it's in the DNA. Like Capo got an entrepreneurial spirit. Like I know he's running through the business school just like he's running through, the football field, like, because it's in his blood.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. With school, academically, he's smart. He real smart academically, and he focused on his academics too. So that's really good, I can say about him. And that's the thing about being a dad. You got to know, it's like being the coach. You got to know your players' weaknesses and strengths. So I know my son's weaknesses and strengths, and I can listen to him and guide him. And that's what men need to do. They got to know their kids and know, like every one of my kids, I do something different with them, because one is this way. Like Chris and my daughter, Kismet, they real smart. Like they smart. Kismet, she is really smart. Like this don't make no sense how smart she is. She young like that. Chris smart too. My other one, she's smart, but she probably gonna get there a little bit. She my little one, my little project. I gotta but you gotta know your kids, man. You gotta know their strengths and weaknesses. And if anything, if you see potential in anything, you gotta push them. You can't just let it. You gotta harness the potential. Every potential, like my one daughter that draw, I buy her paint the little canvases all the time, and she painted this painting for me. I hang it over my wall. It's a cat watching the city. Yeah, I call it the cat in the city, and this is my favorite painting for her. But she was only 6 when she painted this, and this is a canvas that she painted it on. She just did it like that. I know it look like it, but it's nice to me, And I harnessed it. So she a little painter, and she thinks she a painter.
Wow.
If she want to paint, she gonna be. That's what she gonna do.
Pushing the kids to their passion and what they're good at, not just what they like, but what you see as a talent. And Capo, I can even see you taking that painting, the cat in the city, and making an NFT. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I want to learn about too, the NFTs.
Bro, we both gonna be learning about that, man, because that's a whole metaverse,
That's
and
crazy.
It's digital.
That. I don't even know what it is.
It's the next internet, but on some virtual reality. One day, instead of the Zoom, we gonna be like holograms. I'm gonna be sitting right next to you. It's gonna be my hologram, and Chris gonna be right there too, and we gonna be playing Fortnite.
I'm not using it. I'm just gonna be selling stuff on it.
Word.
Dang,
I feel like
that's crazy using that. People gonna get lazy.
That does happen. People do. People are clocking out. Let me ask you this, Capo. Before we close out, man. Man, you being a son, man, succeeding. You're entering manhood, handling your business, man, in school, handling business for real. What message would you have for fathers that have Black sons, particularly, for how we can, man, even build on that bond? Because I know my son, around your same age, man, he sometimes he be letting me know, man, all right, that's a little too much, man. Like, I got you, man. Like, get up off my back. Like, and I feel like Chris, I'll be like, no, I can see a scary movie. I'll be like, don't go through that door. I've been through that door. I know what's gonna happen when you go through it. But what advice would you have for dads to just better bond with our sons and man, not put so much pressure on if it feels like that.
You know what I mean? I say don't yell at them about it. Just like coach them. Yeah, you got to just coach them through it. Cause you like what your son said. Shoot, sometimes you don't be wanting to hear all that stuff. Cause sometimes it sound like nagging.
Mm.
Yeah, but you got to know that it don't be nagging. It's just we be seeing it. See, you just say when you get older, because we got wisdom, you just got smart. Smarts ain't wisdom. It's a totally different thing. So you going off smarts.
Mm-hmm. My dad used to tell me this. He said, by the time you find out what I'm telling you is right, you'll have a young person of your own telling you wrong. So normally by the time it all really hit, you'll have a Chris the Third and be like, dude, man, get up off me, man. Like, you be ready to.
Yep. And it's gonna come back. You're gonna be like, man, my dad did tell me that. And you're gonna be telling him the same stuff. And you're gonna be like, dang, that's what my dad used to be saying that stuff.
I remember what you used to say. You used to be like, man, I ain't hating on you. I'm just telling you something. Said something like that.
No, yeah, because you're taking it the wrong way.
Shine on that. Something like that.
Yeah.
No.
Let me ask you this. What?
Nah, bro, we ain't trying to have our sons, man, get
we want you to be better than us.
Mm-hmm. And we know that it's traps out here. Like it's girl traps. It's traps for you to being a black man. It's everything. And it can all come at you. So we be trying to help. And we're not perfect, so we make mistakes. In the process too. But that's what the love and the bond is for. And I'll ask you all, man, before we close out, man. Chris, man, what are you most proud of Capo? And then I ask the same after he responds, man, Capo, you let me know what you're most proud of your dad.
Shoot, I'm proud he made it to school. Because I said stuff, but ultimately it was up to him. I seen it that last year, boy. I seen it on that football field because I know my son. So when I seen him turn up on them boys like that on that last little end, I said, boy, that boy want to lead him. Boy, that boy trying to get that boy was not playing with them folks out there, boy. You better not get in this way. He hurt his shoulder, boy. He trying to run you over out there. That's when I see, and that made me proud because I seen him pull it out of him. Like that's when you go and go get it. He pulled something out of himself. He went and got that scholarship because he went and got it himself. I seen it. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, it was
that's real. And this is COVID pandemic. They're not giving scholarships out like that. You have to go get it. You have to take it. And show that you.
I know what games he did it. It was like the last 3 games. That's what got him in there. Probably the last 3 or 4. He showed out there. And it's like every time he got the ball, it was like he was running for his life.
And the beauty of it. And you did that. And you were recognized for your athletic talent, but you had to qualify academically. A lot of athletes don't be qualifying academically. It takes an X amount of GPA. You got pass, get a certain score on the ACT, SAT. So you what you're doing now, and it's a game. You're in the game, man. They want your body, they want your speed, they want your athleticism. Yeah. They've always wanted that from black men. But you get them 2 hours or however many, a day for practice, but you up in that school, you tearing up them books. You know what I'm saying? You taking that personal finance, you learn how to turn that money. You like, man, I'm gonna take this because your mind is your greatest luxury asset. And they test your 40 and how much you're benching. That's cool. But as a male, at some point, as a human, there's going to be a downside to that. Go to the NFL, they still, after mid 30s, you're a young man in the real world, but you're old man in sports. Yeah. And you got to be able to have something. They say 70% of athletes go broke, so that's a trap as well. That trap, people, celebrating us for our physical prowess as they always have, but your mindset, your ability to make money, your ability to make that 5,000, your ability to put money in and then keep the re-up and flip, you're a millionaire. for sure in the making, just like your dad, man. And you know how to get it off the muscle. Like you said, when you got that scholarship, that's how you're going to get, you know what I'm saying, that first meal under your own enterprise, that's under the ultimate Freeman enterprise. And that's how you're going to, contribute and find a whole new opportunity, whether it's in the metaverse or whether it's in the real estate real world. So let me ask you, man, what are you most proud of your dad, man?
Feel really hot, like how he like handling his situations, like with the transitioning from beautiful hair to construction, like how he just like keep going, shoot, finding different ways how to make money. Got the trucks, the dump trailers, to all types of stuff. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm. You're the perfect example of a serial entrepreneur, and your son is a spinning image of it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep y'all foot, you know what I'm saying, on that pedal, man, and y'all go until the wheels fall off. But by the time the wheels fall off, y'all got a whole new vehicle, you know what I'm saying, like beautiful homes for you, and I'm sure some others. So, man, in closing, man, what's the message, man, Chris, that you want to give to fathers based on the legacy that you're building for your son, your kids, and your family?
I just want to give him if you got a son, man, your time up. Like it's now it's time for you to make sure that they gonna be good, because you done already did pretty much, after you make them, it's all about building for them now. So when I do stuff, like even when I was taking that exam, I swear to God, man, that the exam that I thought I was gonna fail, the one I got a 73 on, when I got real frustrated, I just thought about my kids, and I'm like, dang, man, I gotta make sure that they gonna have something. And it just made me not give up. It made me answer those questions. Like I'm talking about, where is it at? So use your kids as your motivation. Understand that it's about them, and then teach them that it's gonna be about their kids. That's what it's about. Generational wealth, and generational wealth ain't even money. A lot of times it's information. If my mama or my dad would have told me what I told my son, I would have never went. I would have been in his situation, and then he would have seen when he have a son, his son gonna be better than him, cause he ain't seen what I done seen, but he done learned everything that I got. I gave it to him, so he gonna be able to give him that plus what I gave him.
Mm-hmm.
So
build on top of that. Love it.
Yeah, you build on top of it. Like I seen a thing like with Floyd Mayweather with Floyd Sr. Floyd learned a lot of stuff from his dad and his Uncle Roger. Them boys was fighting in the 70s. They passed him wisdom on from the 70s. So when he was fighting, they already knew. They done played the chessboard. So them moves you making, they done seen them moves before. Yes, son. He perfected things because they already seen it. And they done told him how to perfect it. The man ain't even talking slur. He don't get hit in the head, son. If you keep getting hit in the head, you're gonna be talking slur like me and your uncle. Don't let him hit you in the head. You might hit him on the shoulder and the arm, but you ain't gonna hit that head. He talk real clear still, but just think about all the fighters with lisp. They tell them that. He told them that. That boy didn't get hit in his head like that. Don't let these people own you. Own yourself. They didn't have the power to do it, and they didn't have the brains to do it, but they gave it to their son to do it, and now he's the greatest fighter. I see those people back there. One day you're going to see Floyd there before Ali. On your board behind you with Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali and Kobe. Floyd going to be on there.
Floyd a GOAT. He a GOAT. Never took a L.
Never took it, but he got the best coach. His dad seen everything. Yeah, if he didn't have a dad, he wouldn't have been what he is. He would have never been what he is. He had his dad.
Nah, that's real. Man, it's passing that baton. So you go as far as you can go, but when you're in a relay, you got to get that baton up, and pass that business down, pass that wealth down, pass that knowledge, and push them and cheer them on to go as far as he can. So Chris, as you out there getting it, man, and you're not only running on the football field, man, but you pushing it in life, man. You're pushing it as an emerging entrepreneur. You pushing it as a man. We had this in one of our greatest quotes in Run It, for me and Chris's book, How to Secure the $1 Million Bag, which is what you're in the process of doing. The main quote is, the race is already won. All you gotta do is run it. Man, your dad already laid it. He got the blueprint. And even if y'all go back and forth, man, what he's done, he said 3% of Black people are in, have a general contractor license, but less than that, I mean, a way smaller percentage have generated the amount of money he has in revenue and had the knowledge to pass on. So I ask you, man, as you catch that baton and, man, you're getting it, man, as a college scholar, man, and as a successful entrepreneur, man, what's your message to how you're going to take that baton and that legacy and take it up even further for that Chris later on down the line? I know we ain't having Chris the third no time soon, man, but later on when you have, man, you're part of that family tree branch that you create, man, what's the vision that you have for making this success?
I want it all, honestly. So I want to tap into everything. I want to own a lot of stuff. I want everything, all types of ways. Really. Sure. I want my first $1 million before 25. I graduated at 22. So I have 3 years in the actual world.
I know you'll do it.
I'm gonna do it. I already know I'm gonna do it. And then shoot, you got your general contractor. Man. You got your general contractor license. Shoot, I can get some houses put up.
so he gonna subcontract you, right?
I'm gonna help him get his license too.
Word.
Yeah, when he get out of school, I'm gonna make sure he get these licenses, because you get this license, you gonna be all right. And then it ain't gonna be nobody better to tell you than me, because I already done took the exam, boy. I know how to beat them. I know how to study and make sure you gonna pass. So once you get this license, see, this is a license I wouldn't say they don't want, but it's hard to get. I would say that. It's very hard to get. And everybody, when you get it, everybody respect you. I've seen a whole total difference in just the way people treating me now, because now it's not like you can play dumb. You can't even play dumb when you got a license, this license. Everybody gonna assume you're a brilliant guy, and you gotta be pretty smart for it. I ain't even gonna lie, because it made me, it took me there. It took me there, so.
But y'all are this now, I appreciate you, man. They give me the 1 minute countdown, but this has been Boundless Brothers. You're looking at two of the most boundless, unstoppable brothers, father, son, epitome of what, we strive for as Black men, Black fathers, with our own Black kings, that we build within our royalty. So, man, tell them how to follow you online, because y'all got amazing stories, and y'all are pushing the culture, with what you all do as amazing Boundless Brothers. So, Capo, how we follow you online?
You can follow me on Instagram, capo.c__.
Okay. And I'm going to put your books up, man. Our books up, man. Chris, they can go to blackbookstore.com, Amazon as well, man. Dope Black Boy, The Rich Black Man, Run It, How to Secure $1 Million Bag. All you want to know about business, all you want to know about channeling, the energy of that hustler ambition into a successful Black man. How can we follow you online, Chris, and all of your incredible brands under the Freeman enterprise?
It's Mr. Beautiful Homes at Yahoo. I mean, that's my email address, Mr. Beautiful Homes on Instagram.
No doubt. So, man, brothers, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all are shining examples of what Black men, Black fathers, man, Black sons being raised to be Black kings should be. And nothing but love, man, power, respect, man. So this has been Boundless Brothers. You're seeing Dope Black Boy evolution to two rich Black men, same family, same lineage. And we all, we all come off the same ship. You know what I'm saying? We in the same boat, you know what I'm saying? But we taking that and we gonna make airplanes and rocket ships and whatever else. And Capo, you leading the way, man. So take that baton, man, and take it far, man. And your dad gonna keep. He's still running. he's in the process of passing.
He ain't ready yet. Yeah, he ain't ready yet. Now he got to get his degrees and all that. He ain't ready yet. He's still a little stained. You gonna be all right though. I can see it. But you can't give them to them when they young. I remember when I read my first couple of books and I learned some few words, boy, you couldn't tell me I wasn't smart. That's why I know my son. You done took 1 or 2 finance classes. Son, I was reading 3 books a day, boy. Yeah, 3 different books, boy. I read thousands of books, boy. You got to read thousands of books before you can even start
that's
talking
that OG
like
talk.
that.
That's that Floyd Mayweather Senior talk. He always gonna talk to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Man,
but I'm gonna tell you what you got to do. I ain't gonna tell you you ain't did nothing. I'm telling you what you got to do. You see what I'm saying? You doing good, son, but you ain't there yet. And he know I'm telling the truth. I ain't hating on him. I'm just saying it's the truth because I know. When you get there, then I'm gonna tell you. When you get there, I'm gonna be like, yeah, boy, you there. You getting there now, but you ain't there yet.
And let me hold something since I helped get you there. I got you there, man.
Matter of fact, let me hold something, boy.
Nah,
I can't hold that yet.
Boundless brothers, man, appreciate y'all for this conversation, man. The race is already won. No capo, man. All you gotta do is run it, which is what you're doing. We're proud of you, man. Man, keep taking that Freeman enterprise to a whole other level. So, man, appreciate y'all, man. It's Boundless brothers, man. Peace.
Peace.